What's up, y'all? Lincoln Infield here, and welcome to episode number 7 of Is It the Destination of the Ride, which is the Carolinas Full Throttle Magazine interview series, where we like to get out and talk to the major players in the motorcycle community here in North and South Carolina. And today I am with Ray Spencer, Universal Customs, to talk a little bit about pinstriping. Because let's face it, guys, the whole reason we get into motorcycling, other than to look cool, is to have a good time and have an individualistic approach to our lives. And there is nothing, and I mean nothing, more individual than having some really cool airbrush or pinstripe added to your motorcycle. And in my opinion, there's nobody better to talk to about it than my buddy Ray Spencer. So, Ray, how you doing today?
Doing well, man. How are you?
Doing well, man. Doing well.
Good.
I appreciate you having me down in your studio.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Good deal. Well, let's go ahead and get started with the origin of your art. How did you get started with an interest in airbrush, pinstriping, and your art?
Well, it was one of those, I saw an ad in the back of a magazine for $2. I sent my money off and I got a certificate and here I am.
Sounds legit.
Yeah, man. You know, hey, anybody can do it.
That's it.
But no, I got started in 1988 airbrushing at Haynes Mall. It was my first job out of high school, doing just boardwalk style art, and everything has progressed over the years. And picking up hand lettering, picking up pinstriping, continuing to do airbrush work, and meeting some really good people that inspire me over the years that have encouraged me. And that's always the hard part. You know, you can get an education and training in how to do something. Trying to market that and to stay inspired and to have people around you that support and encourage you is the tough part.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, it sounds like a lot like the paint community is a lot like the motorcycle community, and maybe even intertwined, where it's just close knit, and you know, you have people there to support you, and you can make some friendships. But obviously, you don't just walk in a room and decide that you're gonna be a pinstriper and start pulling, you know, stripes.
Yeah.
You know, what is involved here? How long has this taken for you to you know, master this craft? Like, where'd you come from?
Like everybody, the first lines that I pulled look like garbage. And that's, you know,
You gotta
that's
start
just how
somewhere.
it is. We all have a starting point, and
Yeah.
I still got some of those pieces. But, you know, you just practice. The only way you get to Carnegie Hall is practice, practice, practice. And you put the time in, and you always push yourself. Surround yourself with good people. And I just started with pulling straight lines, trying to get a control of the brush to where it would do what I wanted it to do. And whether it's just straight lines, doing basically what we call C curves, you know, something that bends to the left, something that bends to the right, put those together, make S curves. So it's just, pinstriping is just a combination of those three things, you know, for a dagger style stripe. And you continue to practice until you get to the point to where you're happy with it. You feel good about putting it on somebody's bike, that you can have a conversation with somebody that has never had anything done like that, and they want pinstriping, and we hear it all the time. I really want something on my bike, but I don't know what I want.
Yeah.
Not a problem. You know, what style do you like? I can sketch out something, let you take a look at it, and we can move from there.
So give me a couple colors, give me a direction to go in.
Yeah, so if you've got a hard candy customs metal flake and candy red bike, if you want something that pulls your eyes out, if you want to be seen from 100 yards away, you want to go with bright greens, you know, really bright, intense colors, yellows. If you want something that's very subtle, to where that those paint jobs are very subtle. They have those little nuances you only catch whenever you get within 5 to 10 feet. So with that, burgundies. Put a burgundy color on there, put a red color to that combination. yeah, you can put you a black stripe on there with that. That way you've got something that gets somebody's attention to look a little closer when they walk by.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had a guy that had a Road King that was plum crazy purple. I want lime green lettering on it.
Wow.
I want it to be seen.
Yeah.
All right, so we put 15 colors of scroll pinstriping on there, and it looked nice.
Yeah.
And I had a guy in here that wanted 16 spots on his bike pinstriped.
Wow.
But he wanted to look tasteful.
Sure.
It turned out really, really nice. And it's something that it doesn't matter what your budget is. If you've got $60 and you want something done, we can make that happen. If you've got a bike that you want to spend some money that you have earned, that you've worked hard for, whatever your budget is, it doesn't matter. There's always something that I can do for you.
Mm-hmm. Well, it sounds like, you know, everything else and I'm a ghost flame kind of guy. So it seems like you've got people that, you know, want a little bit of flair, and then you've got people that just want to go all out and really change the look of their bike with your art.
And you can have something that's very subtle, like you say, ghost flames. Do something that's you don't see them very often, but like a black Harley. You can take a ghost flame and make a charcoal metallic with either silver or gold, and have it to where it's very subtle. And, you know, if it's something you want to see from a distance, you can do that. If you want something that's very subtle, not a problem. You know, it just depends on it. And it's like you say, it's tailored around your individual taste.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter what that is. I enjoy getting to know the customer, what your preferences are, or if you don't know what you want, what do you not want? What are the colors that you don't like? You know, if you're a dude that's 7 feet tall that can out wrestle a silverback gorilla, you know, I probably need friends like that.
Yeah.
But, and you like pink, we can make that happen.
Sure.
If you don't, I'll make sure that you don't have pink on your bike.
That's right. Well, everybody's got a different taste,
Sure.
You know, and I think that's the cool part about your art, doing pinstriping and stuff like that. It really can lend an individual look to each and every bike. Is not a stamp. It is not, you know, pulled off the wall.
Mm-hmm.
This is individual art every single time.
Everything is, there's not but so many different, from a pinstriper's aspect, there's only so many different styles of lines. But when you have unlimited millions of combinations of colors, of how thick do you want your lines, how thin do you want your lines, the size that you want your designs. I mean, everything just follows the body lines. I like following the body lines of the bike, what the customer's tastes are. If you want something that's, you like the factory stripes on your bike, but you really hate the colors, and I get that a lot.
Oh yeah.
And I can change those out. If you know, it's everything is centered around your individual preferences.
Yeah.
Whether it's changing the colors of the lettering on the badges, or I don't want any badges on there, take those off and we can hand letter it on there.
Well, and I guess that's a whole nother facet to what you're doing. You do the hand lettering, or can do the hand lettering as well, and just that's unlimited. This is not even just motorcycles. This is you know, across the board, wherever you want this.
Yeah.
You know?
There's a lot of guys that drive trucks that ride, and a lot of business owners, self-employed people that have their bikes. And you know, I'd like to have something done at my store. Okay, I can do, you know, your windows, your doors, you know, your company truck, doors on your rigs. Doesn't matter, you know. It can be either hand painted colors. It can be gold leaf lettered, copper leafed. Incorporate airbrush work into it. It's all, my end game is to make the best impression for you as a business owner, or for your bike, to make the most impression, get the most attention, so that you're getting the end result, that I meet what expectation that you have in mind. And that's my end job.
In your wide array of things that you do, between the hand lettering, the gold leaf, the airbrush, the pinstriping, is there any one of them that you could pull out and go, this is my favorite to do? I mean, you know.
No.
No. you don't prefer one to the other, like, this is my favorite type of artwork.
It varies, man, because like it depends. Like sometimes on a bike, I really love to be able to airbrush things.
Mm-hmm.
It just really depends, and sometimes it's just to do pinstriping, because there's so many things you can do with it. You can incorporate a little hand painted pictorial with it. You can. There's so much with color, with movement, and sometimes it's just the satisfaction of the discipline of making the brush do exactly, it just comes together exactly how you wanted it. And some days it's pinstriping, some days it's airbrush, and some days it's, being able to really pull off a nice candy paint job. And some days it's incorporating all of them.
Yeah. All right, so for years you've done this after hours on your own time, and had a full-time regular job, and now you've turned this into your full-time gig. You've got your own studio.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. Congratulations there.
I appreciate that. It's taken a while having to go, like I've been self-employed off and on for the majority of my life, but with the Gulf Wars, with the economy, sometimes, especially with COVID, not knowing exactly where that was going, having to take a part-time job just so that I can continue doing what I'm doing. But it's been a blessing to be able to go back full-time self-employed. That way I can take care of customer needs, do the things that I want, and spend my days living my dream.
Yeah.
I mean, being creative and being able to meet people, and people are fascinating, and I've been blessed to have really good customers, and it's always nice to meet new folks. And the place here is nothing huge. It suits my needs, and the work that I turn out, you wouldn't know if it was in a small business, a big warehouse. Everything I do, I want to make a portfolio piece from it.
Right. Well, I don't know. To me, that's what's attractive, as well as having, one person, one mind, someone to come talk to. Mm-hmm. And it's not a warehouse job. It's not a stamp, like I said earlier. This is, one-off piece done by an individual, and it's awesome that you get to kind of go full in on your dream here. Now, how do we get a hold of you?
I can be reached on my mobile number, my primary number at 336-345-7936. I can be found on Instagram. My account name is ColorMeGone1970. The business name, I can be found on Facebook at Universal Customs, or if specifically Universal Customs Artist and Sign Studio. And if there's anything that you're looking for, and know somebody that has such an awful bike that it really distracts you and ruins your ride, trying to ride around with them that just embarrasses you for them, hook them up, take care of them, give them my information. I'll make an appointment and come to Pinnacle. It's right at the foot of Pilot Mountain.
Yep.
And 3 minutes off Highway 52. There's beautiful rides to get here through Danbury, through Hanging Rock. You can go all the way from Winston up to the Blue Ridge Parkway and circle back to Pinnacle.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it's a riding paradise as well, and we can go for a good ride.
Sure.
Drop the bike off over here, or just parts.
Sure.
Either way you want it done.
Drop the bike off, bring me some tins, however it is that you want to have it done. You can wait while I do your bike. It depends on how much you're wanting done. Sometimes it may take an hour, sometimes it may take a day. It may take a couple of days. Just whatever your needs are, drop it off, wait, hang out.
Yeah. But the deal is, it is by appointment. And if you can't catch them here, the good news is you've been doing a lot of work on the road, and getting some pretty big spots, and hired on by huge companies. Let's talk about that for a couple minutes.
Sure.
Because you just came back from Texas?
Came back from Texas. it was a really, really good event. And thanks to everybody that was at the Lone Star Rally in Galveston that came by, got some pinstripe done, got some airbrushing, got some silver leaf, gold leaf, copper leaf work done. It was the first time being at that event, first time working in Texas, and man, it was a blast. Huge crowd, great weather, 100 yards from the Gulf, and it was gorgeous. And the opportunity was a little bit of history, Lincoln. A good friend and pinstriper of mine, Tracy McKenzie with Extreme Custom Paint, was contacted last year. Connections of his that know Jesse James Dupree with Full Throttle Saloon. I know a lot of you guys probably are familiar with the series on television.
Yeah, heard of it.
You know, and if not, if you like some 80s metal, Jackal, that's your guy.
There you go.
So he had contacted Harley. Harley used to rent a building from him, you know, do demo rides, products, and things like that there. So they wanted to open the building back up post-COVID. And long story short, Harley and Jesse James Dupree sponsor Tracy, myself, and Anthony Monaco with Music City Paintworks out of Nashville. Tracy's from Kentucky. So the three of us get together, have a big hillbilly paint party, just get together, eat moon pies, Slim Jims, and everything like that. So if anybody from, you know, Moon Pies is listening, you know, I'm the guy I'll be your poster child.
Yeah. And anybody that wants a paint job, you throw a couple of moon pies on top of there. You know, it's not going to hurt a thing.
We'll make it work.
Yeah.
And so we were sponsored to go out to Sturgis last year for our first event, and it was a really good experience. We pinstriped just under 200 bikes, a couple of you know, different things, which was like some of the Harley Owner Group tumblers, and a handmade aluminum stand-up bass.
Wow.
Made from in the 1920s, I think it was, for a guy that's his name is Roman, that plays with Jesse with his like a hillbilly blues band. And so that was a good experience. And then we went back out to Sturgis this year. Huge amount of bikes done. We quit counting at 258 bikes pinstriped in 7 days.
Wow.
Working 8-hour days.
Yeah.
And we did that. Harley was impressed with what we've done. We're going to be at the Hometown Rally 2023 for the 120th anniversary in Milwaukee. Look for us there. We will be back at Sturgis 2023. We have plans to be in Tampa 2023. A lot of places for national rallies. We're looking at Daytona, Laconia. But the cool thing is my friend Tracy has had an epiphany, a hillbilly epiphany that, you know, if one pinstriper's better, you know, some of his knucklehead buddies getting together, that's got to be so much more fun.
Right.
So there's 3 of us that typically work together, and we added a 4th guy for Galveston that's local in Lubbock, Pedro, who works with Bomo Pinstriping. That's his thing. If you're local around Lubbock, Texas, that's your guy. And the 4 of us went down to the Lone Star Rally, and we did really well down there, was very well received, and just got back day before yesterday. And we've got a really full schedule with those guys traveling, doing national events. And I've got, you know, a full schedule working down at Smokin' Harley at Down Home Harley in Burlington. So just look for me there. A lot of your events next year, you know, Mayhem, your big show in Greensboro on the 14th of January. I'll be there doing demonstrations. Really looking forward to that. I've got a huge amount of displays of a lot of new things that people will see there.
Good. Well, I think the cool thing about this travel group that you have is not only having a base of your friends to go pinstripe with, but it sounds like everybody's got a different talent here, and a different style.
Absolutely.
So not only can you get some of the best pinstriping, in the country, but you've got guys that specialize in different styles. It's like going to a tattoo studio and you go, this is what I'm looking for, and you've got somebody there that's going to specialize in that arena.
Absolutely. We've got two guys that are really quick, that do quality work, that you'll get the same quality at a rally that you would at their shop. And you've got two that are real detailed and very meticulous, which we all are. But it's funny, like, two of us, we characterize ourselves as Speedy Gonzalez, and two as Slowpoke Rodriguez. So that's our mentality with things. We're just a bunch of cut up cartoon guys. But it, whether you're looking for something that's hand lettered, lowrider style, you want something that's retro from the 50s, you want something that's vintage from the 60s and 70s, those colors. If you want dagger style scroll work, if you want something that's airbrushed, if you want a lowrider leaf work, if you want whatever it is, it can be done. If you want very ornate work, if you want very subtle, we've got, between the four of us, there is absolutely nothing that you cannot get that's not magazine quality at a rally, and it's very affordable.
Well, and I guess the cool part about it is, guys, and I'm speaking to you now, this is our local boy here, so you can get this work in your own backyard. You don't have to travel. But if you happen to be at one of these big rallies and you want to get some work done, you can do it there. This is national work. This is sponsored work. This is where it needs to be.
You've got a local guy that is part of a hired attraction for a little brand called Harley-Davidson.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, they've got a particular noise about them. They make they toot their horn. And I was blessed probably about 3 years ago to be featured in Custom Pinstriping Graphics magazine based out of England. Had a small write-up, which was a big surprise. Growing up in a little community that doesn't have any stoplights, to be in a feature magazine across the pond. So that was a treat.
You are individualizing your individualistic piece here. You're making it your own, and you don't want to just slap anything on there. You want to make sure somebody's going to do a quality job. It's going to turn out the way you want it, and that's a big deal.
It is. I wouldn't want to take my bike, drop it off, and without knowing what I'm getting, just turn somebody loose. Some people are comfortable with that. Not everybody is. And at the end of the day, it's only paint. If there's something you want changed, wipe it off. I'll make an adjustment. But the thing that I take pride in my work is I will offer you a warranty. All my work is warranted as long as you own your bike against color fading and adhesion failure. You can't take it to a commercial semi-truck pressure washer and just hose the thing off and expect the factory Harley paint to stay there. But my pinstriping, if I will warranty my work as long as you own your bike.
That's awesome.
So if you have any issue with it whatsoever, contact me. I'll touch it up, do whatever needs to be, and it won't cost you a dime.
Man, that's cool. And honestly, it's just another credential for you. I feel like that you're going to stand behind your work. It's not something that you're slapping down on somebody's stuff and hope to never see him again.
No, and there's people that you find like that everywhere you go. But the products that I use are things that I can use on the road. I use here. It's a catalyzed urethane paint that when it's cured after a couple of weeks, the only way to get it off is to wet sand it.
Wow.
It bites in, with the leaf work, everything that I do, I take pride in what I do, and I want it to last. I want it to be something that if you've, like with your dad's Surf-A-Car, that if you decided I want this to be the way it's been from now on, that paint will be there.
Well, I like where it is, man. It looks good on there, so
Yeah,
I'm happy to have.
I was honored to be able to do that.
Well,
honestly, I was. You know, your dad was a mountain of a personality and a sweetheart of a guy, and you know, it was a pleasure to be able to meet him and to be able to do that.
well, like I said, every time I see the back end of that server car with your work on it, it makes me smile still, and I think about that evening and stuff like that at the open house and watching you do it, man, which is. I don't know. To me, it's half the fun. Is like, you know, you might not like people sitting over your shoulder, but man, watching you pull those lines so that it's an amazing artwork to me. You know.
Well, I try. I do my best, and you know, having people to watch me. If nobody showed up, man, that's a bad day.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to watch you. Okay, well, you know, you do something different the next time. But it doesn't bother me when people, you know, sitting on my shoulder. Yeah. Nah,
sure.
Not a fan. But you know, to sit and watch me, I enjoy it. You know, is to know that there's people that are interested. You know, because everywhere we go, man, it's a dying craft. It's a dying art. You don't ever find anything like that. So, if you're somebody that sees that or feels that way, the only way to prevent that is you support those local businesses. And that way, you know, whether it's a car or a semi-truck, if it's your signage, if it's your bike, if it's a little wagon that's a lowrider wagon that you want for your kid for Christmas, have something put on there tricked out, because a 6-year-old that's really into, you know, dad's chopper, that whenever he gets that little lowrider wagon and it's lettered or pinstriped or something like that, which I've done some of those.
Sure.
That is instilled as a fingerprint on that kid's DNA. You know, that, you know, dad's hot rods always had, you know, pinstriping on them. You know, dad always had his bike done. I don't know where where to go. So if you see us out at a rally somewhere, or see me at an event, come by, talk with me. I'd be glad to do what I can for you. If you don't have your bike with you and you're at an event out of state where I am, whatever I can get. If I can't do it, I can put you in touch with somebody in your area that can, and do a quality job.
Very cool, very cool. Because I definitely, you know, like you said, you know, dying arts, you know, it's one of those beautiful old school things, man. It just, man, you know, like the history and the richness of this type of artwork, man. It is something, you know. I don't care if it's a single line or it's something you guys put together as a full piece, a panel, whatnot. It's a beautiful thing, man. It really enhances everything that goes on.
It is, and you know, anybody that says, well, it's not that classic, it's not that tasty, you know, why have the lettering on, why have the pinstriping on your bike? There's a reason Harley's done it, you know, since they started the business. You know, it's an iconic tradition.
It is.
And it's something that when you see it, you may not know what you want, but just have a conversation. You know, it's you know, like my dad has said, you know, putting dual exhaust on a hot rod has been the most expensive reason to, you know, it always costs tires. It will break you up in tires. And, you know, being able to personalize your bike to your taste, and, you know, that can change, you know, as you go through life. And if you decide, you know, I want a little something on my bike, I can do a little something on your bike. Come back in a year, I really like that. You know, let me add something to that. It's a work in progress.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be everything at once.
Well, you know, like you said, you can you know, reline the factory pinstripe, and you can put a full piece on there, you know. But it's super cool, man. And I suppose you can even ship parts if you need to. Yep.
If you are traveling, if you're not in this particular area in my market, if it's a tank, you know, obviously it's preferable to take the gas out, especially at the price it is. You know, I'll take free gas anytime.
That's a good thought.
But, you know, to be able to ship parts, send them to me, I can send those back, and I can wait till the paint's cured out, make sure everything's good, ship that back to you. We do that all the time here. And, you know, I've guys send me something as simple as just the dash console for a Road King. And it's no big deal.
It's yeah, but it's one of those accent pieces that's going to set your bike
Absolutely.
out from the rest.
Absolutely.
You know, so you can get that black street glide.
Yeah, you know, if you're not real confident in your navigational abilities, and it's like, man, I don't want to go to Pinnacle. I got warrants. I can't go.
Yeah,
that's fine. Happens. You know, just go to the mailbox.
Yeah.
You know, get you an Allen wrench set or something like that shipped to you. Send me your parts, and I will be in touch with you when I receive them. Let you know how the process is going. I can send you photographs as an update if you like, and get you your tracking number whenever it's sent back to you, and we can go from there. But you know, you're only limited to what it is that you want to be. If you've got a need, you know, we'll make it happen.
All right, so we already discussed the upcoming events and stuff like that, the rallies that you're going to be attending. But what about Universal Customs here in Pinnacle? What are the future plans that you guys have coming up?
So for Universal Customs, what the big thing right now is working on breaking ground for a new building. That way it facilitates a lot of growth. The things that I have always been able to do that struggle with space and you know, availability of those types of things. The big thing is being able to have the shop building, and it's going to be at the same spot here in Pinnacle, and it'll allow me to have up to roughly around 16 bikes and to do full-blown paint jobs, whether if you just need a respray on your fender or you know, your outer fairing or something like that. You know, if the dog had a little bit too much Purina or something like that, got a little bit wild, you know, tipped your bike over, because none of us did that on our own.
I've never done it.
Never. And so to be able to do, you know, just simple resprays, or if you've got something that, like a local guy here got in touch with me for my referral, man, I got a full cello build I want to do. Can you do that? Yeah, I can. You know, from spraying your metal flake bases, your candy bases, your leaf work on there, your pinstriping, your lettering, designing the paint job, you know, working with a customer to make sure that what their vision is what I've got. So if you've got, you know, photos from a magazine, Google search images, whatever, you know, the thing that I'm really excited about that is because it's something I love, those paint jobs, the old 60s and 70s funny car paint jobs, the lettering, all of that. So if you've got a bike that you want to have brought back to life, you know, if it's something that you got from your dad or from your granddad, to be able to preserve that. If you've got something you want just wipe off the factory look, do a total custom job. If it's a show bike, if it's just a daily rider, if it's a chopper, you want your frame flaked and your tins flaked and candied, yeah, I can do that. You know, it's something that that's what I'm looking for. That's the big push over the winter, is to be able to get that building done, to be able to do full paint jobs, airbrush work, and just be able to take those types of displays out on the road and let somebody know, hey, you don't have to not get what you want. You're not having to settle, you know, you just ride the same bike that everybody else has. You know, you've got your options, and it's local, and it's not those frightening prices that, you know, you read about.
Right. Well, you know, because currently you can get an entire tri-glide in here. You've got enough room to pull this off. But if you have the bigger spot, you can take on more work, bigger work, stuff like that. So that is something to look forward to.
I'll look forward to it, you know, just to be able to have a club. You know, I've had people say, you know, if I've got a riding club, or my MC wants to get about 10 to 15 guys together, and make that a destination, you know, go camping. You know, you got Jomeokee Park up here. You've got an RV park right next, you know, just literally about a mile away. So, you know, there's the excitement of being able to have a facility where I can bring a lot of guys in and do everything, and not be crowded, and just whatever the customer's needs are, to be able to meet that.
Right. Well, So these are wintertime plans. We're looking at having this done
Yep.
by spring 2023.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely. So hopefully in the next week and a half, the ground should be broke on it, and got the building plans. Everything's ready to go. It's just, waiting for that, the ribbon cutting and the groundbreaking and everything. And it's an exciting time to be able to do what it is that you feel that you're supposed to do, what you've been blessed to be able to do, and have people around me that are supportive. And it's like with the magazine, putting that ad in the magazine. I had planned on trying to do that for a long time. I'd catch you at Denton, at
Yep.
different events. We'd always end up sitting there just talking. But it's been one of the biggest advantages to be able to reach the community and to get that feedback. And the phone calls that I get off of my ad have made a difference. And it's a good thing. It's a good brotherhood. It's a good partnership. So so for everybody out there, support your community, support the brotherhood, support the brand. We can't, Lincoln and I, we can't do this without your support, and it makes a big difference. And for me to be able to have a dream come to fruition, to come to life, I can't do that on my own.
No, and honestly, in my opinion, the motorcycle community needs Universal Customs, needs Ray Spencer to be here to keep creating these unique looks for them, because that's, like I said, at the start of the video, we're doing this as an individualistic thing. Otherwise, you'd buy a minivan. We're doing this, and you wanted, what's the word I'm looking for? Customize your stuff, and this is the ground floor of customization, man. This is where you make it your own.
Yeah, how many nights have you looked at the old lady and been like, so it's date night, let's jump in the minivan and see where the mood takes us.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen, It's which bike are we going to take?
Yeah.
And, to name your bike, to personalize it. A woman puts her makeup on different than her friend.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is different. Everybody wears their clothes. We've got our things that we like, and our bike is our extension of what we are. At our core.
Yep.
And you just can't get much more personal than that. And whether it's speed or just cruising or just style or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Let me know what that is, and we'll make that happen. I'd be glad to.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I love it, man. And to bring that back around, I picked up my wife going for a motorcycle ride. It wasn't. It definitely wasn't.
Not a minivan.
No, it wasn't at Walmart. It wasn't the minivan.
Yeah.
I was going out for a ride, and I'd like to say that was probably why she liked me.
It didn't hurt. It didn't hurt.
No, it didn't.
I've never heard a couple's story that started off, well, he had the hottest minivan.
That's right. Those double sliding doors really did it for me.
It just made my knuckles white.
Yeah.
You don't see that.
No, but the pinstriping could do it. That gold leaf could do it, man. That panel paint job definitely could do it.
Life.
See, that's what we're talking about now. We're talking about changing your life for the better, and this is the doctor.
And it's like I was saying earlier, when you come out, I've had so many people say, I'm tired of trying to find my bike in a sea of black bikes.
Mm-hmm.
And, we laugh about those kind of things because, if it comes down to it, there's benefits that, to not get a DUI, to not get, popped by the man. When you come out and you're like going back and forth, staggering, looking just confused, and oh crap, now here comes the cop, because you got busted staggering back and forth trying to not trip over everybody's black bike to find which one's yours.
Right.
It happens. But to be able to customize, whether it's exhaust, your bars, your bags, the front end, the total look, the sound, whatever that is, with your speakers. Is pinstriping a necessity?
Yes.
some people would say no. It's, is riding a bike a necessity? There's only
Yes.
one answer. There's one answer. If it's a no, we can't be friends. But it goes hand in hand with just taste, personality, and who we are.
Yeah.
And I've never had a person to leave the shop or where I'm at an event that whenever they pushed their bike back, pulled the kickstand up and fired it up, that didn't ride off sitting taller in the seat after having that done. And if you doubt it, challenge me. We'll make that happen.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, and in all reality, man, the black bike stuff, this is a great base. You can start and go anywhere on this black motorcycle. Yeah. I'm a black motorcycle guy. We added flames, we did things like, and that's what you do.
It is, and black is one of the most beautiful colors. There's a lot of them out there that I absolutely love, but there's so many colors that look absolutely gorgeous on black. Airbrushed work, candied work over some airbrushing. I mean, there's so many things that you can do with a black bike that, Harley didn't get it wrong by producing so many of those.
Nope.
It just helps guys like me, to help you to, have that nice custom job on your bike.
Yep. It's a good canvas, man.
It sure is.
Okay. Well, the name of the series is It the Destination of the Ride? And I like to finish out every video with that question. It's a personal question for you to answer. Personally for you, is it the destination or is it the ride?
For me, it's the ride. For me, I look at a ride like it is in life. The destination is viewed as the end. And I focus on the ride. I focus on the scenery, making the memories along the way. And whether that's at a rally, if there's something that you want, work-wise, that's just part of it. For me, I like, when I'm at an event or I'm out somewhere in life, I like to stop at a restaurant and eat something that I've never had before. That way, the next time I have it, I always remember that first time, making that food memory. And life is nothing more than an adventure. It's, you get out of it what you put into it. Your happiness is yours to choose. And for me, every bit of life is an adventure. It's the ride. I don't know what my destination will be, but I'll just enjoy the ride day to day and see where we go.
That's it. Well, I have to agree with you, but I will say this: if you're looking for a destination, it needs to be Universal Customs to get your bike customized to your own liking. And if you, like I said earlier in the video, if it's not in Pinnacle, it's going to be at one of these major rallies that Harley-Davidson is sponsoring him and his team to be out there, putting these guys literally on the top notch of the custom motorcycle paint arena. Harley-Davidson's not going to go out and sponsor just anybody. They handpick these guys. This is where you want to go, and we're fortunate to have you here as a local painter and be able to see at local stores and events and stuff like that, man. But like I said, if you're looking to enjoy the ride, go out and do that. But the destination needs to be somewhere where Ray and Universal Customs is set up, so he can make sure to bring your customization dreams true.
I really do appreciate all the support that the local community has paid me. It makes a difference. It's tough always being out on the road, but it's nice to be able to come home and have people that entrust me with their bike to do something and to make friends. I don't have just customers. I like making friends with customers, and I've got some that have stopped by that I've done some airbrush work for. Donnie, as an example, that he and his son love to crappie fish. Man, you need to come out on the boat with us. I will eat a fish, but the destination, I'll do what I can, do my best, and if you don't see me in Pinnacle, some of the local events, some of Lincoln's events, just look for me. And if you're trying to see where I'm going to be at, I will be listing all of this year's events, a calendar of events. That way, if you're in the area or if you know somebody that's out of state, look me up. I'll be glad to do what I can for you.
Yep. Well, I definitely appreciate your time and having me out in the studio, man. And I will certainly see you at local events.
Yes, you will. I always do. I appreciate it,
man.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes, sir.